Hello and welcome, Mike Gillespie, Sales Max, podcast number 12. Saturday night, I'm at a show with my family, my mom and my brothers and sisters and their families, my daughter. My phone starts blowing up. Well, at intermission, I go and I call my buddy and he tells me, hey, do you know you're in an article in the Ocean City Dispatch? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought he was pulling my leg. And then all of a sudden I was getting all these other texts and stuff. Well, it was kind of funny because there was an article when I was just graduated from high school in 1977. I was on the Ocean City Beach Patrol in Ocean City, Maryland. And literally, I had a great experience that helped shape really my life. And I would like to talk about that today. And before I do that, though, I want to talk about history never repeats itself, but it certainly does rhyme. And that's what Mark Twain says. So if you can learn, if you can feel, if you can understand, and you can execute in life, it's a good thing. So back to the story. My second day on the job, Ocean City Beach Patrol, I learned that life and death is real. And I have an understanding and a passion for helping people and understanding how important these positions are. You know, for lifeguards and first responders, EMTs and police officers. Every day, you can have something really bad happen, but you can have something really good happen if you're prepared and you can execute. So, 1977, Memorial Day weekend, second day on the job. I get to work early that day. I'm up in my stand probably 10 minutes before 10, which is a little bit early because I was excited. I was jacked. It's all about timing. Had I come in on time, I might not be telling this story. Things could have happened a lot differently. But as I'm sitting there in my chair, I notice some people on the beach kind of yelling to me, waving, and I look out and I see somebody in the surf, and they are obviously in a distressed situation. So I grab my buoy, swim out to them in the 58-degree water, kind of a rough surf, and I get out there, and I'm like, here, grab the buoy. And he's like, it's not me, man. It's my buddy. He was here a couple minutes ago. I haven't seen him. He went under. I'm like, oh my gosh, literally my second day, and this is happening to me. Well, what do? I start doing my duck diving, and I'm going down, and I'm feeling around under the surf. Where was he? He's kind of showing me he was right over here, man. And, obviously inebriated this guy, and probably more than that. But his buddy was underneath the waves, and literally after what seemed like 10 minutes, things really just drag out. It was probably only 2 minutes in reality. I feel this dead, lifeless body several feet under the water, and I grab the person by the hair, and my heart, skips a couple beats, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So I pull him up, get him onto the buoy, get his neck and head onto the buoy, give him a couple breaths, nothing. He's not breathing. And I'm like, man, I got to get him into the water. It's rough out here. There's waves breaking. So we caught a couple breakers in, got into about, waist deep water or so. And my buddy, who had also come in early, Mike Dovey, comes flying down the beach. He's on 92nd. I'm on 94th Street in Ocean City, Maryland. I lift him up between the armpits, and Mike puts his shoulder into him and gives him a fireman's carry into the beach. We get him to the beach, drop him down, and literally this bluish colored body gasps and starts throwing up. And it was just like, wow. The impact jarred him loose. We gave him a couple quick breaths. He came back. Long story short, the ambulance came. They took him to the hospital, and it was a great day. Couple of things about it. Life's about timing, number one. Life's about teamwork. My buddy Mike really was there for me and helping, and the people on the beach were there for the person, and his buddy who was out in the water with him was there. It's about executing. Just do your job. See, react, feel. Don't give up and finish. It's funny because for first responders, lifeguards, EMTs, police officers, people don't realize the nature of their job. Every day it's a life and death situation. Everybody thinks, oh, it's great to be a lifeguard. You get a tan, you get to meet people, you get to work out, you get to do all the stuff you do, but you always have to be prepared for the worst and hope for the best. So, and even after the event, The person was back out the next day on the beach. They never even said thank you or, hey, thanks for pulling me in or rescuing me, because, probably embarrassment or whatever. But, and in life, it's a lot like that too, especially if you're an advisor. You can probably all relate to that. So I talked about my first day on the job, or my second day on the job, and how things are life and death situation, and you need to feel and understand. So I want to switch topics now, and I want to talk about my first day as a registered Series 7 rep on October 19th, 1987. And that day, the market went down 23%, literally my first day registered that Monday. Now, let me put that in perspective. Today, the market's roughly at about 26,000. That would be like the market today closing down 6,000 points. That's a lot. The market's up 12% this year. If the market were to close down 23%, that's like a 6,000 down day in the market. Crazy. Well, that's what happened October 19th, 1987. It's a gut punch. I looked, I learned, and I felt the passion and emotion of people, some of which were wiped out. People that had margin accounts, they basically got wiped out. They owed money at the end of the day. They might have had $1 million portfolio or a $500,000 portfolio, and in one day they were wiped out. And when you hear the emotion and you can feel the emotion and understand the emotion, it's a different kind of way to approach things. You're not going through the motions. Just like when I was a lifeguard, every day after I got up in that chair, I understood that, hey, this is a serious job and you better pay attention because people's lives are at stake. Well, when you're an advisor, people's financial lives are at stake. They work their whole lifetime to be able to retire comfortably and remain comfortably retired. And our job as a lifeguard / advisor for their financials, we need to understand and make it personal. And we need to learn and internalize and feel their pain and their fear. We need to prepare them for retirement. We need to execute. The market's funny. It's cyclical. As Mark Twain says, history never repeats itself, but it certainly does rhyme. Well, if you take a look at it, right now the market is at all-time highs. It can and it will correct. And you know what? Even if you do a great job for your clients, sometimes they're not going to be appreciative. But don't take it personally. Just do our job as best as we can. And you know what? You're going to make a difference. So we talked about lifeguards. We talked about being a lifeguard of financial assets for people. And we talked about the markets being like an elevator, like a yo-yo on an elevator. They go up and down short term, and long term they go up. But it's natural, they're cyclical, and things will happen. We're going to have bad markets again. Be prepared. So let's talk about that. Today the market's at an all-time high, over 26,000. Be prepared for the worst. Plan for the best, or plan for the worst and prepare for the best. Well, right now, I think we have a recipe for chaos. We have political turmoil, some uncertainty, political tariffs, a lot of stuff going on. But more than that, we have markets at all-time highs. We've got interest rates at almost all-time lows. And if interest rates go up, that's not good if you're in bonds. And if markets go down, that's not good. So traditional asset allocation may not be the best solution today. You want to have other assets that are non-correlated with the markets. We need to be ready. We need to be prepared. We need to be in cash. We need to be in bonds. We need to be in stocks. We also need to be in guaranteed income. Whatever your essentials are, make sure that that part in retirement is secure so you can live a comfortable retirement and remain comfortably retired. Anybody that you're working with that is within 5 years of retirement or 3 years or 1 year or in retirement, understand every day is a Saturday. There's no more checks coming in. There's just spending. So make sure that you understand and you have those essentials covered, because we are at historic all-time highs, which means we're in the riskiest market in the history of mankind. And we need to understand, and I'm going to put a question out to you. Do you want your hurricane insurance before the hurricane, or do you want to pick it up after the hurricane? So for these conservative investments out there that should be in everybody's portfolio, do you want to own them before the event or after the event? Obviously, you want to own them before the event. So let's prepare our customers, especially those at risk. With that, ladies and gentlemen, have a terrific summer. And I hope you're doing terrific. I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks, and I'll be back in July. We'll see you soon.